Automation, definitely. I think, thinking ahead of that in terms of how you can automate your process earlier on, rather than, I know, at least in my experience, product development in early stages, a lot of manual steps, right? It's very manual, hands-on. You're trying to figure out what are your parameters, how is this going to work? Once you have those tied down, I think being able to automate a system helps immensely. It's just how to automate it not too much where there's too much control and not, you can't fix things on the go, but getting it to a good place definitely helps reduce that and, maintain a process in a continuous fashion.
Yeah. Yeah. Zoltán, I know that automation is like absolutely core and central to the work that the Welcome R3 program is working on. What's driving that automation? Is it in fact sort of that, like, I guess I should ask, does human resources play into the driver of why automation is so important to your approach?
Certainly, yeah. So we also see that automation is crucial also for having, or not relying on humans, right? Because when you have to have expansion of your manufacturing capacity, as also mentioned before in the questions, you would need humans, right? And they should be highly trained, usually operating to operate in a GMP environment. Not always easy to find them, and it takes time to train those people, right? So we're looking at automation to basically to have, actually we're working on a very advanced automation that can, in a continuous process, for example, look at the process parameters in real time and use, the simplest form of it, it's quite a lot to explain, but the simplest form is just like having real-time measurements from the process, like real-time data coming, and use that then to feedback and control the process in an automated way, right? That's the simplest form. There's a more advanced way when we use models to predict, for example, the quality attributes ahead in time, right? So let's say that you have, in case of RNA, degradation is an issue. It can degrade fairly quickly, but it takes time to measure it because you have to take a sample, go to like an HPLC or a fragment analyzer or so on, and run a sample, and then you find out. But in a continuous process, you want real-time readings of those quality attributes that are not possible to measure. So we're looking at building all sorts of kinetic models, for example, that can predict, even like quantify and predict degradation in real time based on things that are happening in the process, like pH, temperature, concentration of certain components. We use this information to even forecast degradation ahead of time. And let's say that right now there's no degradation, but based on the trajectory and based on what we measure, we think that, and based on the kinetics, that degradation will happen, let's say 5 to 10 minutes down the line. Then we can now take control actions in the present moment to correct those degradation issues before they ever occur, right? So that's the advantage of automation that we're developing.
It's really interesting, like in-line and in-process controls, because waiting for results to come back before you can step the next line is definitely a bottleneck, right? And then if you find anything, your whole batch is already made.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's even worse in a continuous process because you have, let's say that most of your product was made correctly, but then a part of the process it just deviated a bit, right, in a continuous process, and then everything is pulled, and depending on how you run it, it can really mess up a lot, right? So, so we would want to have this real-time monitoring, which we believe is essential, at least monitoring, but also control, preferably for a continuous process, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're doing a lot of work on that, and it's quite challenging, as you can imagine. But yeah, we're getting there slowly, yeah.